What's up, guys? Welcome to CryoFX YouTube channel, and this video we're going to talk about how to clean a cold spark machine. So diving right in, as I say in a lot of my videos, because we don't want to waste any time, there's two different methods to clean this. You have a general cleaning, and then you have a in-depth, like internal cleaning. So we're going to talk about both here because I want to make sure that you are aware of what these cleanings are and how to properly set your spark machine up for the best use possible, the most longevity out of it, if that's even a phrase, and to get the best out of it. Because the problem is that a lot of people return these and say it doesn't work, or it's clogged, or there's an issue. Well, you might not have an issue after one or two times, but when you do not clean it, when you do not do the things I'm going to tell you in this video, that's when the problems occur 6 months, 7 months, 8 months down the road. And the last thing that you would want is to have one of these machines mess up before your event, and then you're high and dry. We're going to keep it PG here, so I'll just say that. However, general cleaning. I'm not having this spark machine plugged in right now because we are shooting this video and I'm going to be showing this on other videos. However, let's say you just got done at an event. You just finished using the machines. You want to let the machine cool off. Again, for the purpose of this video, you will unplug everything from the machine. The machine goes off, you unplug everything, and you let the machine cool down. We recommend anywhere from 20 minutes to 30 minutes if it's outside, maybe a little bit faster. But for this particular cleaning, you could wait 15 minutes. To go in the machine, you're gonna wanna wait at least 30 minutes or more because there are heating elements inside that will have this machine really hot, and you don't want to do anything in the machine when the machine's hot. So the first portion of this cleaning, or if you wanna know how to clean a cold spark machine, the general cleaning procedures are this. Unplug everything from the machine. You go ahead and you get a case or a bowl or something that is clean. You have granules still in the machine. You will go ahead and you open the top, and you will take the machine and turn the machine upside down, making sure that the granules spill out into whatever case that you're going to be spilling them out into. There's not a lot in here because this is just a video that is demonstration, but you get the point. Tip the machine over, make sure that all the granules in here are out. You can put your finger in there, you'll be able to see the little corkscrew. Make sure the machine's unplugged. I can't stress that enough. Once that is done, then you go ahead, put the cap back on it, and I'm not gonna do this on this video, but I'm gonna walk you through what you need to do. Because if you've already used the machine, you already know how to do this. You will go ahead and you plug the power con back in, you'll plug the machine DMX back in if you're using DMX, or your controller, whether it's wireless or manual, and then you'll turn the machine on, you'll let the machine heat back up, and then you'll go ahead and you'll fire the machine repetitively until no more sparks come out of the machine. I say that like this because I can't stress it enough. What you're doing at this point is not only have you cleaned, if you come over here and look at this, because I have this open machine, this is the reservoir on top. So not when you turn the machine upside down, you're emptying this reservoir. However, let me get into the machine here so I can show you. The machine itself has this little funnel. Once this reservoir is empty, you still have a corkscrew that goes into this funnel. This funnel actually still has granules in it, and there's still granules inside this heating element. If you turn the machine off after emptying it out and you let it sit, well, that's great and all, but it's really not because these granules in this heating element, and inside the heating element, we have other videos that show you inside it, and I have a link in the description below. Those granules inside are going to get cold, and they're going to stick, and they're going to either stick on the walls or they're going to stick on the corkscrew. And then when you heat the machine back up, yes, they're still in there. They're still going to be heating up, and that process over and over is likely to leave residue, and it's going to cake up. Remember earlier in the video that I said going and using this 1 or 2 or 3 times or 50 times, you might not have a problem, but leaving those in there, that cake up and that residual compound, and becomes an issue down the road. So that is the initial cleaning on these to start. Again, how to clean a cold spark machine initially after every use. you turn the machine upside down, you empty the granules out, you plug it back in, and then you go ahead and you expose the rest of the granules. You get them out of there. Once the machine doesn't spit granules out anymore, now it's safe, and I say safe, but it's okay to turn it off, let it cool down, and put it away for use the next time. So that's the first part on how to clean a cold spark machine. Getting in and doing a deep dive on spark machines, in which we kind of already showed you the inside of one here. How to clean the inside, a whole different story. First and foremost, make sure the machine is completely unplugged. You do not want this plugged in. I don't even want to plug in the machine. Unplug it from the wall, unplug the plug from the machine. Literally make sure the machine looks like this. Like you could slide your hand across the entire face of it because nothing is plugged in. Then you know that it's safe to open the machine up. There's a series of screws on top. I don't have to go over that. Literally every screw on the top of this faceplate, you can see the holes in that faceplate, except for this one and this one is gonna have a screw. You literally take all those screws out. I don't have to show you that. It's super rudimentary. Now, on the top of the machine, you're going to have a little tab that sticks up here. Let me turn this portion of the machine like this. There is a ground wire that will disconnect, and then you can take this top off. You set the top aside. This would normally be upright like this, so take that off, set the top aside. This would normally be on the machine. For the purpose of this video, we have it apart. Now, this particular cord right here, it would normally be through the machine as such. If it's not, there's a problem. Nothing should be going over this heating element. Now, this would normally be attached to the circuit board as such. You're going to want to detach that very carefully. Do not pull on this wire. You pull on the wire, you're going to pull the wire out of this bracket, and it's not going to be able to connect back to there, and you're going to have a problem. So make sure you get this white piece and you disconnect the white piece very gently. I got to be comical at some point. Anyways, disconnect that. Again, all the screws, let me take this off for the ease of the video. You won't be able to do that because the screws are on. Screw, 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 screw. You're going to want to take those off. Then you can take the entire cold spark machine case off and out of the way. Now you have this machine open and exposed. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go into the machine as such. Let me move this completely out of the way so I have some access here. So, I've already taken some of this apart, and I'll explain exactly where that is because I want to make this video fast and I don't want you seeing me undoing screws and all this unnecessary stuff. So I've already loosened these 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Therefore, I can move this motor up and down. So I probably should have mentioned this before. These are the iSparkFX M3 and M4 machines. The M2s, which are the larger ones, look identical inside. It's just a larger case, maybe some rearranged circuitry. However, if you're working on other Spark machines, the general gist of the items and the general internal components are going to be the same. So don't think that they're not. They're going to be the same. They might look a little bit different, but the functionality and everything inside is more or less the same. You might have a chain instead of a rubber belt. If you have a chain, you're not going to have this blower. Those are just some things that you need to be aware of. So, for the sake of this video and how to clean a cold spark machine, if you come forward, I'm going to go in and we're going to go right in and deep dive into this. So I've loosened these screws, if I haven't said that already, so that I can bring this motor up and down. By doing so, I bring the motor up and I'm able to take the band off. Now, I've also, there's 2 holes here, which a Allen wrench like this, 5/64, can go in and actually undo this. Well, I've already done that for the purpose of this video because I want to make sure that we get straight to the point. So once those are loosened, there's 2 of them, this thing will come off. A little bit of a B, but comes off. Then you have this. That comes off. Now, what I will have to do is, instead of those, let's go up here and I did 1 screw already. As you can see, this hole right here, I've taken 1 screw off. Again, for the purpose of this video, this 1 screw is just holding this piece on. Now, let me say this while I take this screw out. Make sure you don't lose these screws. Make sure you know which screws go in what areas because certain screws fit in certain areas and some don't. They don't fit in other areas. Some screws are longer than some other screws, and they will not do justice if you put them in the wrong areas. Now, I've loosened that. I'm going to turn this around so you can see this. Now, why I do this, because now this is loose, right? Well, this funnel will normally have granules inside it. So you want to make sure that you get your finger up under that as fast as possible, because if not, you're going to spill granules all over here. They can get in your motors, they can get in areas. You just don't want to do that. It's not going to completely harm the machine, but it's definitely not good for the machine. This one is already emptied. So in order to do this, let me turn this completely around, I'm going to bring this out to the side. I'm going to go ahead and kind of work its way up. And when I see that it's right about, well, that took it all the way out, but let's say it's right about there, tilt it, get my finger there, and bring this like this. Now, you want to make sure that you're careful, because that can come completely apart. Remember, this will be full of granules. That's what it looks like there. That's the top of it. And of course, there's the corkscrew that screws them in there. What you're going to do is you're just going to put that back together and set that off to the side. So you don't want that anywhere near what you're doing. Again, I will say this. Please make sure this machine is not plugged in, and please make sure that this machine has not been plugged in or used for at least, let's say, 45 to 60 minutes. Earlier in the video, I think I said 30. I want to make sure that this is not hot, because what we're going to do here is actually go into this, and if it's hot, you're really going to damage yourself, and that's going to be a big problem. Now, I know we're kind of all over the place here, but I want to make sure that we're not sending the video guy all over the place. So what we're going to do is this. I'm going to keep talking because I'm going to explain a couple things, but these 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, are the 4 screws that I will go ahead and I will take off completely. So while I'm taking these screws off, why we're doing this is because what's happening is this is the corkscrew for the heating element. Now, this heating element itself needs to be cleaned periodically. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that if you don't empty the machine out and you don't do the initial cleaning that we talked about earlier in the video, you're going to have to be doing this a lot sooner than later. So I've already loosened 4 screws down here, which I mentioned. I've already taken the belt off. I've already taken the other drive wheel off, or reciprocal drive wheel, whatever you want to call it. So now this is completely apart and loose. Not to mention, I've also taken this screw out already, and I've taken this screw out already. I didn't do that on that video, on this video, but I did do that already so that you could see this. And the reason why, those 2 screws allow this frame and this frame to come apart. And it's needed because after I took those 4 screws out on the drive heating element, what happens is this is basically sandwiched in between this piece and this vertical piece. Without taking the vertical piece completely off, the machine is designed where you can just open this up a little bit like this, and this pops out just like that. Now, this comes out. You want to make sure that this washer, if you will, goes to the side. There are some bearings. You can go ahead and clean these bearings. We recommend just blowing them off with a air compressor. I'm going to set this heating element. You can see that there's some residual inside there, some granules. Tap those out. We can blow those out of there. Sometimes they're really in there and they will not come out. I need to stress this really importantly here. Do not clean this with solvent. Do not put any solvent in this machine at all. No WD-40, no gasoline, no alcohols, nothing. I don't care if other videos have told you to do that. We're not doing that on this video, and I'm not going to advise you to do any of that on this video. Not only to mention anything wet around this circuitry will ruin it, anything wet around motors is going to ruin it, and anything wet around these bearings and around this internal heating corkscrew, lots of parts, is going to ruin it. Remember I said earlier that things build up on here. There's a little bit of stuff that's already built up. I can literally just wipe my fingers on it and you can see that it's built up. You don't want to clean it with anything, because if you do, it may leave a residue, more so than the granules. It may gunk up, it may be problematic, and it may just be an issue. So All I would recommend is literally taking one of these, if they do come off. I don't even take it off. Just leave it like this. This one's already kind of sandwiched on there with this clip. Go ahead and you'll just use an air compressor, blow all of this off, get all the granules out. I'm just blowing that here, but you could see most of them come off already. Use my finger, get some of those other ones off. Now, that stays like that. What I'm not gonna do on this video is show you how to clean this with a wire brush, but you would just take a wire brush similar to the wire brush that you would use for a battery terminal, or similar that you would use for, I want to say, a barbecue grill, but don't grab your barbecue grill because there's grease on that one. And grease on this is going to mess it up. So get a clean wire brush. Make sure that the wire brush is brand new. And you're going to want to wire brush this off. Make sure that it is completely clean. And once it is, then you go ahead and you want to make sure that this is clean. Take a rag, just wipe this out, and you'll stick the heating element you'll stick the corkscrew to the heating element right back inside. Now, for the purpose of this video, whoopsie, I'm going to go ahead and take this off. Well, probably not over the circuit board, but therefore, you can see the inside of this. Blow all that away. What you're seeing here is this, just to name a couple of things. Here you have your insulation, you have your heat shield, and of course, that leaks white powder. What that white powder is these wires come all the way up to this temperature. This is a temperature sensor. Really, all this does is just get the temperature of this and report back to the logic board. This is your actual heating element right here. This wraparound that comes out to here. All that is a heating element that goes around here. As you can see, if I take the internal piece out, that's how the inside of it looks. Literally, how to clean the inside of a spark machine. Cold spark machine. So those are your internal parts. We'll go ahead, get some of that stuff out of there. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on as such. And let me see here. I just wanna make sure that this is correct. Yep. And once that goes like that, looks like we're good to go. So then you can go ahead and take this, put this back over here, feed this through this hole as such, and I'm going to go ahead and pry these apart. I know my hand's kind of in the way, but I'm putting this inside the hole that comes up from this vertical piece on the inside of it. So once I do that, oh, you know what? If you guys didn't catch it, I just did, because that was loose in there. I have to put this washer back on. So try to get ahead of yourself, but that happens sometimes. But want to make sure that you double check yourself. Once that's in there and it's seated appropriately, there we go, back and forth, and that makes sense. So moving quickly, I'm going to line these up. As you see these holes right here, I'm lining the holes up, and I'll go ahead and put one of these in to kind of hold that in place as such. Let's go here. And then I'll go ahead and make it lined up here, and I'll put the other one in place. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to put the whole thing back together because you've already been on it enough, but I'm going to put the other two screws in there. Let's go ahead and point. I'm going to insert this screw, insert this screw. I'm going to tighten them, cross, 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 get those nice and tight. Once those are in, I'll go ahead and I'll put this piece back up. What I'm going to do here, turn this around, put this funnel inside the hole. Boom. Swing this around. Now you come to the other side. Again, this will have two screws. I'm only putting one in right now for the purpose of this video, if I can even find it where it goes. There we go. And once that's in, here we go here. I'll just screw this in so it stays and I can continue explaining the rest of the video. However, you will be putting another screw in right here. Do not leave it like this. Again, this is just for the purpose of this video. Another screw goes in here. These will already be tight. Then you come down here, you'll go ahead, you'll put this piece back on the drive shaft there. And this will go back on one of these ways. And once it goes back on, the inside is super clean now, so it's a little bit easier to kind of turn. But once that's back on, then you'll use your Allen wrench. You'll go ahead, you'll tighten this down, you'll tighten this down, lift the motor up, grab your drive belt, put the drive belt on it like that. Make sure the drive belt is seated accordingly. And then with your hand, you'll come over here and you'll push this motor down. While you're pushing it down, you tighten 1, 2, 3, 4. Once that's done, you'll go back over and you'll put the machine back together. Quickly put, I'm gonna breeze through this super fast so that we can get you off this video. I hate long videos and I know you do too. You'll go ahead and you'll put the case on the machine. But while you do that, remember, this does not go over here. No, you don't want that over there. You wanna go underneath, grab this. We'll go ahead and kind of put the case on it as such. Whoops. Don't want that falling all over the place there. Go ahead and connect this to the circuit board right here. I'm not gonna do it just for the purpose of the video. And then we'll go ahead, we'll put this piece up. However, before we put that piece up, I just noticed something here. See, I'm getting ahead of myself already. This ground wire, you wanna make sure is on the case here. So that ground wire here, remember that. So this goes on, ground wire here. You'll probably wanna put your screws in as such. And then you'll go ahead and, again, this will already be connected. These will look a lot neater because there is zip ties already in there, geez. And you'll go ahead and put this up, put the screws in. Then you have your top plate. Top plate goes on. Now, this would not be here like this. The top plate will go on like this. Remember, this ground wire goes on the top plate there to that little tab. Then this goes on here, boom. These two screws and then screws on the top. And then the cap goes on and that's the cherry on top of that cake right there. Wow. So there you have it in a nutshell, how to clean a cold spark machine. Please do me a favor if you like this video, click that like button because it seriously helps us and I am completely not winded right now. I could keep going. But anyways, I wanted to dive in deep, show you how to clean a cold spark machine with your normal cleaning and on the inside. I hope you guys like this video. Super informative. Again, all spark machines work the same on the inside. Resources and links in the description. And until next time, check us out online, CryoFX.com or the links below. We'll talk to you soon.